In the previous chapter, we saw Fiend Yang exploded in frustration, questioning Joo Fan's leadership and the lack of preparation. As doubts crept into Joo Fan's mind, he struggled to maintain his composure, uncertain if his plan would succeed. Let's begin the chapter. "You alone will do shit!" Fiend Yang spat, his voice laced with pure discontent. "Is this some kind of joke to you? A game?" Fiend Gui calmly shook his head. "The fights, they're decided by lot. Every member has to fight at least once. Are you seriously suggesting you draw 10 lots yourself? Even if you're worth 10 men, the rules are clear. No one fights more than once. It's all about the Sect's overall ranking based on everyone's performance. So, your individual strength? It hardly matters here, except maybe in a chaotic group brawl." Joo Fan's eyebrow arched. "Double dragon gathering, huh? So many rules. Wouldn't it just be faster if everyone just ganged up?" "Ha ha ha." Fiend Yin chuckled, a forced, dry sound. "It's a test of a sect's true potential, they say." "Potential," Joo Fan repeated, a hint of sarcasm in his voice. "Sounds like our hands are tied then. Guess we just leave it to fate." Fiend Yang exploded. "Say it again! Just say it again!" It was only the combined efforts of the other fiends that stopped him from actually flattening Joo Fan right then and there. While Joo Fan seemed utterly unconcerned, the venerables were a picture of worry, silently praying that their disciples would somehow arrive in time. 3 days crawled by. The sound, so familiar now. A gray-clad man stood there, bowing slightly. "Demon scheming sect," he announced. "The double dragon gathering is commencing and we haven't seen you. The elder sent me to fetch you." Fiend Yang's mouth twitched, a sigh escaping his lips as he glanced at Joo Fan. "Well, what now?" "Stall," Joo Fan said flatly. Fiend Yang shot him one last glare, as if that would somehow help, then bellowed, "I goo my stomach, it hurts! Your food here, it's not clean! I need the toilet!" "We are cultivators, honored guests," the man replied, utterly unimpressed. "We don't offer breakfast either, and with your cultivation level, such a thing is impossible. Perhaps you ingested some poisoned pill?" The portly fiend's face flushed crimson. "Ha ha ha. You know what? Now that you mention it, I feel much better. Shall we proceed then?" The gray-clad man turned, leading the way, his eyes flicking back to them with a mix of disdain and curiosity. "I've seen my share of cowards, but you are a special breed. Getting sick just before you're supposed to perform? What did you even come here for? Crazy." Fiend Yang's face darkened. He glared at Joo Fan's back. "Punk," he hissed. "Today's humiliation? It's on you. We stalled for you, so you better get back our dignity, or your head is forfeit." Fiend Yang snorted, stomping after the man, the other fiends trailing behind. "What's your dignity got to do with me?" Joo Fan muttered, rolling his eyes. "I didn't tell you to show off in the first place. Honestly, what kind of breakthrough have these little brats even made?" Then a powerful wave of energy pulsed from a nearby room. It made Joo Fan's ears perk up. And then another, and another, from rooms all around them. Joo Fan grinned, a predatory gleam in his eyes. "Ripe eggs," he murmured to himself. "One by one, they've finally broken out of their shells. Next, it's time for you to spread your wings and fly." The arena was immense. Seats ringed the huge stage packed with dignitaries, representatives of empires, all gathered to witness the display of sect power. Yongning and Yun Shuang waited impatiently, their eyes fixed on the entrance, eager for the arrival of the ever-delayed demon scheming sect. Elder, a gray-clad Figure bowed before the elder of the mystical heaven sect. The demon-scheming sect is here. He departed, but not before casting a look of open disdain at the trio shuffling in behind him. The elder frowned, his gaze sweeping over them. "Venerables," he questioned, "why do I only see the three of you? Where are your disciples?" Well. The trio exchanged nervous glances. Fiend Yang, ever the one to take the lead, stepped forward. "Elder," he began, a forced smile plastered on his face. "The disciples. They are delayed. They will be here shortly." "Ha ha ha." A loud, arrogant voice boomed through the arena. "Talk about a disgrace. They're too terrified to face yours truly." Hui Xiong strutted into the center of the stage, preening, his gaze sweeping over the assembled crowd. "Half a year ago," he declared, his voice ringing with self-importance, "I utterly crushed the demon-scheming sect's so-called elites. And now, they've sent no one of worth, just their dregs, their weakest. Their leader? A mere third. Layer radiant stage child. Honestly, some random elders from the secular world would have been a better choice. In my moment of weakness, of generosity, I even advised them against coming. And look, they actually had an epiphany. They listened. They ran away! Ha ha ha! They actually ran away! A murmur rippled through the crowd, then swelled into a clamor. Had the demon-scheming sect really been scared off? How utterly embarrassing, worse than losing. This had never happened before, not at the Double Dragon gathering. The fiends stood there, speechless, seething with impotent rage. Hui Xiong, in his boundless arrogance, took the crowd's reaction as confirmation. He'd hit the nail on the head. He laughed again, turning to the mystical heaven sect elder. "The leader of the lower three sects," he proclaimed, "will be decided between us now." "Damn it!" Danner roared, his voice cutting through the din. "You don't deserve it!" "What did you just say?" Hui Xiong spun around, fury contorting his face. Every head in the arena whipped around, and then they froze, stunned. What were they seeing? What were they doing here? To the absolute shock of everyone present, three figures strolled into the arena. Three men bearing an uncanny resemblance to each other, evil smiles playing on their lips. It was them, the Demon Soul Sect brothers. The eldest young master Han glanced at the two teams already on stage, a frown creasing his brow. "The demon-scheming sect isn't here yet?" A voice from the crowd piped up, confused. "It's just the battle of the three lower sects. Why are they here?" Another voice echoed the confusion. Did they remember the wrong day?" "Doesn't look like it, brother," the third young Master Han replied, his eyes scanning the arena, searching for a particular infuriating figure. Finding no sign of him, he turned to his eldest brother. Should we wait for them?" The eldest young master gave a curt nod, a dangerous glint in his eyes as he stepped onto the stage. "I was dying," he said, his voice low and menacing, "to see the monster you mentioned."